At 71 years old, I walked into my bank to withdraw money for my grandson's college tuition and discovered my account was empty. $200,000 gone. The branch manager, Derek Morrison, had been slowly draining my savings for 18 months, thinking I was too old to notice the small withdrawals. He bought a boat, a new car, took vacations to Europe, all with my money. When I reported it, the bank's corporate office tried to cover it up to avoid a scandal. They offered me $50,000 to stay quiet. I'm a retired IRS criminal investigator who spent 35 years catching financial criminals. This is the story of how I destroyed Derek's life and exposed the bank's corruption. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you never miss revenge stories like this. My name is Dorothy Chen, and I'm 71 years old. I've been banking at First National Bank for 42 years. The same branch, the same building, watching managers come and go. I trusted them completely. That trust almost cost me everything. 3 years ago, I went to the bank to withdraw $15,000 for my grandson Michael's college tuition. Michael had worked so hard, got into a great engineering program, and I'd been saving for years to help him. I had $200,000 in my savings account, money I'd accumulated over decades of careful investing and living modestly after my husband died. When I asked the teller to process the withdrawal, she looked confused. "Mrs. Chen, your savings account only has $8,000. I thought she'd made a mistake. "No, dear. I have $200,000. Check again." She checked. Then she called the branch manager, Derek Morrison. Derek was 43, always smiling, always friendly. He'd been at that branch for 2 years and always asked about my grandson. "Mrs. Chen, let me look into this. There might be a computer error." He took me to his office, pulled up my account, and his face went pale. "I see the problem. There have been numerous withdrawals over the past 18 months. Small amounts. 500 here, 1,000 there. Did you authorize these?" I hadn't authorized anything. I rarely touched that account except to add money from my pension. "Derek, I didn't make those withdrawals. Someone stole my money." Derek printed out the statement. Over 18 months, someone had made 73 withdrawals totaling $192,000. Each withdrawal was under $2,000, small enough not to trigger automatic fraud alerts. "Mrs. Chen, I'll start an investigation immediately. This is identity theft. Someone has been accessing your account. I was devastated. That money was for Michael's education, for emergencies, for my future care if I got sick. It represented decades of sacrifice. But something felt wrong about Derek's reaction. He seemed nervous, not surprised. I'm a retired IRS criminal investigator. I spent 35 years tracking financial fraud, tax evasion, and white-collar crime. My instincts told me Derek knew more than he was saying. I went home and started my own investigation. I requested copies of every withdrawal slip from the bank. The bank's corporate office sent them reluctantly. Each withdrawal had been made in person at the branch with my account number and my signature, except the signatures weren't mine. They were close, very close, but not perfect. Someone had practiced my signature and was forging withdrawal slips. I examined the signatures with a magnifying glass. Whoever forged them had access to genuine examples of my signature, probably from the signature card on file at the bank. The withdrawals always happened on weekdays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. when the branch was busy. The teller stamps showed different tellers processed the withdrawals, but they all happened at the same branch. I called the bank's fraud department. I need to know which teller processed these withdrawals. They gave me copies. 41 of the 73 withdrawals had been processed by Derek Morrison himself. The other 32 had been processed by tellers he supervised, but he'd overridden the normal verification procedures each time. Derek had been stealing from me for 18 months, using his position as branch manager to bypass security. I contacted a forensic accountant friend from my IRS days. "Dorothy, this is textbook embezzlement." He picked an elderly customer he thought wouldn't notice small withdrawals. He kept amounts under reporting thresholds. He used his authority to avoid questions. This is sophisticated. I went to the bank's corporate compliance department with my evidence. The compliance officer, Janet Reed, listened to everything. "Mrs. Chen, these are serious allegations. We'll investigate immediately." 2 weeks later, Janet called me. "Mrs. Chen, we've completed our investigation. We found no evidence of wrongdoing by Mr. Morrison. The withdrawals appear to have been made by someone using stolen identity information. We're filing a report with local police. I knew they were covering it up. Banks hate scandals. Admitting a branch manager embezzled money from an elderly customer would destroy their reputation and trigger regulatory investigations. Janet called me the next day with an offer. Mrs. Chen, while we found no wrongdoing, we want to make this right. We'll refund $50,000 as a customer service gesture if you sign a non-disclosure agreement. They wanted to pay me off to stay quiet. $50,000 out of the $192,000 stolen. I refused. Janet, Derek Morrison stole my money. I have proof. If you won't act, I will. I filed a police report with the Financial Crimes Division. I gave them everything. The forged withdrawal slips, the pattern showing Derek processed most withdrawals, the fact that he overrode security procedures, the bank's attempted cover-up. Detective Maria Santos took my case. Mrs. Chen, banks usually cooperate with these investigations. Let me contact First National. The bank refused to cooperate. They claimed customer privacy prevented them from sharing Derek's employment records or internal communications. Detective Santos got a court order. When she finally obtained Derek's employment file, we discovered something shocking. Derek had been fired from 2 previous banks for policy violations, code for suspected theft. First National had hired him anyway without proper background checks. We also obtained Derek's personal financial records. 18 months ago, Derek had been $40,000 in debt from gambling. Then suddenly, he started making cash deposits. Small amounts, always under $10,000 to avoid reporting requirements. Over 18 months, he deposited $187,000 in cash. He bought a boat for $35,000. He bought a BMW for $42,000. He took his girlfriend to Paris, Rome, and Barcelona, all with my money. The forensic evidence was overwhelming. Derek was arrested at the bank. I was there sitting in the lobby when police walked him out in handcuffs. He saw me and his face went white. Mrs. Chen, I can explain. Save it for your lawyer, Derek. I spent 35 years catching thieves like you. Derek's trial took 8 months. His lawyer tried to claim the evidence was circumstantial. Your Honor, my client processed transactions as part of his job. There's no direct proof he forged the signatures. My forensic document examiner testified the signatures were forged by someone with access to my genuine signature card, which only bank employees could access. The forensic accountant showed how Derek's sudden cash deposits matched my missing money. Detective Santos testified about Derek's prior firings for suspected theft. I testified about my 35 years investigating financial fraud. Derek targeted me because I'm elderly, and he thought I wouldn't notice. He used his authority as branch manager to bypass security. He stole money meant for my grandson's education. He's a predator who targets vulnerable people. The jury convicted Derek on 73 counts of forgery, embezzlement, identity theft, and elder financial abuse. The judge sentenced him to 12 years in federal prison and ordered full restitution of $192,000, plus interest. Mr. Morrison, you abused your position of trust to steal from a vulnerable elderly customer. You have a history of similar behavior. You are a danger to anyone who trusts you with their money. 12 years. But I wasn't done. I filed a civil lawsuit against First National Bank for negligent hiring, failure to supervise, and attempted cover-up. My lawyer presented evidence that the bank had ignored warnings about Derek, hired him despite his history, and tried to silence me with a settlement. The bank fought for 2 years, but the evidence was too strong. They settled for $3 million, $192,000 in restitution, and the rest in punitive damages for their negligence and cover-up. The compliance officer, Janet Reed, who tried to cover it up, was fired. The regional manager who authorized hiring Derek was fired. The bank had to implement new security procedures and training. Derek is now 4 years into his 12-year sentence. His boat was seized and sold. His BMW was seized. His girlfriend left him when the money stopped. He lost everything. The bank paid me $3 million. I gave Michael his college tuition money. I donated $1 million to a foundation that helps elderly victims of financial fraud. I kept the rest for my future care. I also started consulting with banks and credit unions, teaching them how to detect embezzlement and protect elderly customers. Financial predators look for vulnerable people, I tell bank employees. Derek Morrison thought I was just a confused old lady who wouldn't notice. He forgot I spent 35 years catching people like him. Age doesn't mean helpless. Experience is power. Michael graduated last year with his engineering degree. At his graduation, he thanked me for making his education possible. "Grandma, you didn't just pay for college. You taught me to fight back when someone tries to take advantage of you." Derek will be released when he's 55. He'll have a felony record, no career, no savings, and a grandmother who destroyed his life. People ask if I feel guilty about sending him to prison for 12 years. Number: Derek stole my life savings to fund his lifestyle. He targeted me because of my age. He tried to ruin my grandson's future. He deserves every day of that sentence. I'm 71 years old. I'm a retired IRS criminal investigator. And I'm a grandmother who proved that stealing from elderly people is the worst mistake a thief can make. Derek thought my age made me vulnerable. He learned that 35 years of investigating financial criminals doesn't retire. The bank thought they could silence me with money. They learned that justice isn't for sale. I'm not a victim. I'm a woman who fought back and won.